Welcome, dear listener. Tonight, we are going to follow a quest that is as old as consciousness itself. Okay, it is a quest not for treasure or knowledge, but for a very specific kind of magic. The magic to push back the night, to sculpt the darkness with warmth, to draw a circle of gold in a world of indigo. This is the story of light. Not the sun's light, which is given, but our light, made by our hands. It is a story of smoke and soot, of oil and wax, of gas and glass, of electrons and phosphor. Okay, it is the story of how we change the very shape of our lives, our minds, and our sleep, by learning to carry a little piece of day into the heart of the dark. And so, as we begin, we must first remember the true primordial dark, the dark that existed before all of this. So, as you settle into your bed, let us perform a simple mental alchemy. Let us turn off, in our mind's eye, every light. Not just the lamp on your nightstand, but the glow from the street lamp outside, the standby LED on your electronics, the distant orange haze of the city on the clouds. Imagine them all, one by one, winking out. Go back further. Imagine your town, your country, the whole world dark. No electric grids, no gas lamps, no candles in windows. Just the moon and the stars, and the profound velvet black of a planet asleep. This was the world for 99.9% of human history. And in that world, the coming of night was not a gentle transition. It was an absolute frontier, a change of state. When the sun dipped below the horizon, the world you knew retreated. The familiar path to the stream became a tangled mystery. The sounds of the forest changed. The cold seeped in. And in that vast, living dark, our ancestors felt a vulnerability we can scarcely comprehend. Their first answer was not to make light, but to find it, to keep it. So, let us begin our story there, at the mouth of a cave, or within the ring of great stones, on a night so dark you can feel the weight of the sky. The first human light was not a thing that was made, but a thing that was captured. A lightning-struck tree, a forest fire sparked by flint. A burning branch was snatched from the chaos and brought carefully, fearfully, into the circle of the camp. This was not just light. This was life. This was heat to ward off the killing cold. This was flame to scare away the predators whose eyes gleamed in the beyond. This was the transforming magic that could turn raw flesh into nourishing, safe-cooked meat. The hearth fire became the center of the world. It's the literal and spiritual heart of the home, the clan, the tribe. Its light was a restless, dancing orange light. It threw long, leaping shadows on the walls of caves, perhaps giving birth to the first shadow plays, the first stories. Its light was smoky and smelled of pine pitch and burning fat. It was a living thing that required constant attention, feeding with wood, banking with ash, protecting from wind and rain. To let the fire die was a profound failure, a plunge back into the cold, hungry dark. The keeper of the fire held one of the most sacred and practical roles. From this central hearth, smaller lights were derived. Torch branch with one end wrapped in resin-soaked moss or bound with animal fat. It was a mobile sun, a way to carve a path of flickering visibility through the absolute black of a forest path or a deep cave. It sputtered, it smoked, it dripped hot pitch. Its light was wild and temporary, but it meant you could move through the night. You could hunt, you could travel, you could guard. Then came the first true lamp, a simple shell, a hollowed-out stone, a piece of pottery, filled with animal fat or oil rendered from fish or nuts. A twisted strand of plant fiber moss, linen, rush served as a wick. It and a small, steady, still flame was born. This was a revolution. The flame was tamed. It was no longer a dancing beast on a branch, but a quiet, contained pupil of light, resting in a bowl of stone. It could sit beside you as you worked a bone needle, as you painted ochre on a wall. It was companionable. Its light was soft, warm, and incredibly dim by our standards, perhaps the brightness of a single birthday candle. But in the vast dark, it was a universe. Imagine the sensory world of this ancient light. The smell, acrid smoke, burning fat, the earthy scent of the wick. The sound, the faintest hiss of burning oil, the tiny crackle of the wick charring. The sight, a halo of warm, amber light that pushed the dark back, perhaps 3 feet, leaving the corners of the room in a deep, mysterious gloom. The shadows were soft, alive, breathing with the flame's gentle dance. There was no glare, no sharp edges, it's a pool of tender visibility. This was the light humanity lived with for tens of thousands of years. It set the rhythm. When the fuel ran out, or the wick drowned in its own ash, the light died, and you slept. The day was ruled by the sun, the night by the fragile, precious life of your flame. As you lie in your bed now, try to feel the profound value of that single, small light. It wasn't illumination for reading or working. It was a bulwark. A tiny fortress of order against the chaos of the dark. Its primary purpose was not to see, but to feel safe, warm, separate from the wild night. Breathe in, imagine the faint, smoky scent of a burning rushlight. Breathe out, and feel the immense, comforting significance of that one small golden eye in the dark. Your own nightlight, your lamp, is a direct descendant of that primal, protective flame. For centuries, the technology of light improved, but its essence remained, a thing that consumes. The oil lamp evolved, with spouts to hold the wick, reservoirs of clay or bronze. The Romans used olive oil cleaner, brighter burn. In medieval Europe, rushlights were common, the pith of a rush plant, dipped in leftover kitchen fat. It was the light of the peasant jeep, smoky and short-lived. Meanwhile, the wealthy had beeswax candles. These were a luxury, a honey-sweet smell, the bright, steady, almost smokeless flame. Candles meant hours of dependable, clean light, but they were expensive. You literally burned money. The rhythm of life was still dictated by light's cost and fragility. Curfew comes from the French couvre-feu, meaning cover the fire. A bell would ring at night, signaling it was time to bank the hearth fires and extinguish lamps to prevent disastrous blazes in timber and thatch towns. When the curfew bell told the world, by law and necessity, got dark and went to sleep. Then, in the 18th and 19th centuries, a great leap happened. We began to mine the night. First came whale oil, specifically from the sperm whale. Its oil burned brighter and cleaner than anything before. The hunting of the sperm whale for this liquid gold lit the homes and streets of the burgeoning world, a grim oceanic cost for our illumination. The light was better, but the equation was the same. Find a biological fuel and burn it. Then came coal gas. This was alchemy on an industrial scale. Coal, heated in the absence of air, produced a flammable gas. This gas could be piped through cities and into buildings. In 1807, Pall Mall in London became the first street lit by gaslight. It was a sensation. The light was no longer a solitary, flickering point, but a steady, public, sulphurous flame high on a lamppost. It transformed cities. Nightlife, as we know it, was born. Theaters, cafes, shops could stay open. The night was no longer a uniform blanket of dark, but a landscape now punctuated by islands of jaundiced, hissing light. The world grew louder, busier, and slept less. But gaslight was dangerous explosive, toxic, and it still produced soot. It was a dramatic, democratic light, but not a gentle one. The true revolution, the one that would change everything about our relationship with darkness, is being forged in glass and vacuum. In the 1870s, across the Atlantic, Thomas Edison and his team were not inventing the light bulb. They were perfecting it, The challenge was to filament the tiny thread that must glow white hot without instantly burning up in the oxygen-rich air. They tested thousands of materials: carbonized paper, bamboo, even a hair from a colleague's beard. Finally, they settled on a carbonized bamboo filament, sealed inside a glass bulb from which almost all the air had been pumped out of vacuum. When electricity passed through, the filament glowed. The first successful test in 1879 lasted for over 13 hours. The lab report famously reads, "We now had a lamp of wonderful durability." The incandescent electric light was born. It was utterly different from anything that came before. It did not consume oxygen. It produced no smoke. It needed no trimming, no refilling, no piping of explosive gas. You simply turned the key, or later, flipped the switch. It was instant, silent, and obedient. Its light was a steady, warm, butter yellow glow. It was, for the first time in history, clean light. This changed the architecture of life. Rooms could have permanent, central fixtures. You could read in bed without fear of setting the sheets on fire. Q could work late without eye strain from a guttering flame. The night was now fully, easily, and safely conquerable. But in conquering the night, we began a slow, unconscious war on our own biology. For the light we had mastered was still, broadly, firelight. It mimicked the sun set heavy in the red and amber parts of the spectrum, weak in blue. Our ancient circadian rhythms, calibrated to the sun's cycle, could still understand it. When this warm electric light faded, the body knew it was time for melatonin, for sleep. The final subtle twist in our story comes with a different kind of alchemy. The glow of electrons, not the burn of carbon. The fluorescent tube, and later, the light-emitting diode LED work on principles of physics, not combustion. Electricity excites mercury, vapor, or a semiconductor, which then emits invisible ultraviolet or blue light. This light strikes a phosphor coating inside the bulb, causing it to fluoresce to glow with visible light. This process is incredibly energy efficient. It also produces a light spectrum with a strong, hidden spike in the blue range. And blue light is the language of morning. K. It is the signal our brain's master clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, uses to tell the body to shut down melatonin production, to be alert, to wake up. So now, in the evening, we surround ourselves with luminous rectangles and efficient bulbs that whisper with billions of blue-tinted photons, a constant, silent lie to our primal brain. It is dawn. It is day. Do not sleep. Be alert. We won the war against the dark. But in our victory, we may have lost touch with the gentle, necessary peace that the dark once guaranteed. As you lie in your bed, think of the long lineage of your own bedside light. It holds within it the captured wildfire, the fat-fed lamp, the whale's sacrifice, the coal gas hiss, the vacuum-sealed glow of carbon. In the silent, blue whisper of the phosphor, we have journeyed from protecting ourselves from the dark to protecting ourselves from the light we created to dispel it. Breathe in the clean, scentless air of electric light. Breathe out, okay, and feel the ancient pull of the true, deep, restorative dark. It is time to end our long, bright quest and return home to the night. We have followed the flame from the hearth to the diode. Now, it is time to reverse the journey, to walk back down the path of light, toward the quiet, to perform the final, most important alchemy, turning the bright, buzzing awareness of day into the soft, fertile dark of sleep. This is not about going backwards in time. It is about remembering a rhythm that is older than all our inventions. Begin by noticing the light in your room. Is it the cool, diffuse glow of a street lamp through a curtain? The warm, standby LED of a device? The last light from a screen you've just put down? Acknowledge these modern stars. They are the endpoint of our story. Now, in your mind, begin to turn them off. Not with your hand, but with your imagination. Start with the brightest, bluest source. Imagine it dimming, not suddenly, but like a sun setting in ultra-slow motion. Its cool white softens to a warm white, then to a pale yellow, a tea, then to a deep amber, and finally it winks out, leaving a gentle afterglow in your mind's eye. Move to the next light, a little indicator LED. Imagine its sharp, piercing point of light, softening, spreading out, becoming a fuzzy, warm ember, and then dissolving into the surrounding dark. One by one, extinguish the electric constellations of your modern night. As each one vanishes, feel a layer of subtle neurological tension release. It's a quiet sigh from the deep parts of your brain that have been standing guard in the artificial day. You are moving back through time. The steady, silent electric glow is gone. You are in the age of the incandescent bulb. See its gentle, yellow, filament glow in your mind. Appreciate its warmth, its simplicity. Now, imagine the filament cooling, the bright wire fading to a dull orange, then to a faint red ghost, and then to black. The glass bulb is just a cool, empty sphere now. Go back further. It's a gaslight with its faint hiss and wavering sulfurous flame. Imagine turning the valve. Okay, the flame shrinks, ducks, and is gone. The hiss stops. Faint smell of coal gas lingers, then dissipates. Back further to the well-oiled lamp. It's clear, bright flame atop the oily reservoir. Pinch the wick. The flame vanishes into a curl of smoky scent. Back to the tallow candle with its dripping, smoky, animal smell. See the pool of molten wax. Blow gently. The flame bows and goes out. Back to the hearth fire, the great, crackling, communal sun of the home. Rake the embers together, cover them with ash. The dancing light sinks into the glowing red heart of the coals, and then is buried under gray. The room is lit only by the dull, pulsing embers, which slowly darken. You are now in the deep, pre-human dark. The dark that knows only moon, stars, and the rare, terrifying blaze of lightning. This is the dark that shaped you. This is the dark your cells remember how to sleep in. In this profound quiet, let us not be afraid. Let us rediscover its gifts. This dark is not empty. It is a sensory blanket. It muffles the world of sight, forcing your other senses to soften, not sharpen. In the true dark, you listen to your breath. You feel the weight of the covers. You notice the taste of the air. Your mind turns inward. This dark is a melatonin bath. The hormone of sleep, triggered by darkness, now floods your system unimpeded by blue light false alarms. It lowers your body temperature, slows your heart, prepares every cell for repair. This dark is the canvas for dreams. With the external world faded, the internal world can project its own mysterious, necessary images. You are now immersed in this original, nurturing dark. Feel it around you like cool, still water. It is not a wall. It is a medium you float in. It holds you. It asks nothing of you but to rest. From the heart of this dark, we will now kindle one final perfect light. Not to see by, but to sleep by. Imagine, in the center of your chest, a tiny point of warmth. It is the color of a dying ember, deep, dusky rose, pulsing softly with your heartbeat. This is your inner hearth, the light of your own life, your consciousness, banked for the night. Watch this ember. With every slow exhale, it dims just a little. Its soft, rose glow deepens to a somber purple, then to the color of a deep rose, and finally to the faintest impression of warmth against the velvet black. You are not extinguishing it. You are trusting it to the dark. You are letting the night take over its watch. Your body is heavy. Your breath is slow. The long history of light, the struggle, the invention, the triumph is complete. The quest is over. There is no more need to push back the night. You can surrender to it. Welcome it. It is not your enemy. It is your oldest cradle. The night has been waiting patiently, all this time, for you to turn around and fall into its arms. Let go of the story. Let go of the journey. There is only the dark and you resting within it, as countless generations have before you. Sleep in the gentle, absolute victory of the peaceful night.